Nigeria's educational system, once celebrated in Africa, is today standing on shaky legs. For a few decades after independence in 1960, Nigerian schools produced world-class minds. The list is long, with some still alive and making great impact in various fields of human endeavor. These include Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka, former Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Director General of World Trade Organization Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and former President of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwunmi Adesina. Today, education in Nigeria is a shadow of its old self. It has progressively declined over the years. The signs are clear. What is even more baffling, however, is the fact that everyone seems to stand aloof, watching helplessly, as the future of our teeming youths and, indeed, the future of Nigeria, the world's sixth most populous country, hangs in the balance. How did we get here? The reasons are legion. Let's consider 7. First, education has never been correctly prioritized in our national budgeting process. Over the 27 years of the Fourth Republic so far, 1999 to 2025, average yearly budget allocation to education, as a percentage of total budget, stands at 8%. The best we have ever achieved was about 10.6% in 2014. This is far below the UNESCO benchmark of between 15% and 20%. Today, Nigerian governments still place emphasis on building flyovers when schools are poorly funded. Thus, the welfare of teachers and pupils is relegated to the background. Secondly, there are the twin evils of irrelevant and overloaded curriculum generally delivered via rote learning. Emphasis is on memorization and paper certifications not backed by knowledge substance. Meanwhile, outside our shores, emphasis has long shifted to digital skills, including coding and robotics, entrepreneurship and critical thinking, even at the basic levels of education. Thirdly, there is the issue of brain drain, or what we know as Japa syndrome in local parlance. The educational system in Nigeria has been robbed of its cream of teachers as they move to greener pastures outside our shores to escape poor working conditions and continued lack of motivation. Fourth, the proliferation of tertiary institutions without commensurate deepening of infrastructural and manpower availability. There are, presently, over 289 universities in Nigeria, most of which lack funds for educational infrastructure and research. Fifth, the first 5 years of life, which are critical to personality formation, are abandoned by governments as pre-school years. This leaves this period of early childhood education, ECE, to ill-equipped persons just acting to fill the gap. Sixth, the neglect of rural and nomadic learners have swelled the army of out-of-school children, many of whom have become willing recruits for insurgents and bandits. Estimates from both UNESCO and UNICEF show that Nigeria, in 2025, has about 18.3 million children of school age outside its educational system. Of this figure, 10.2 million are children of primary school age, and 8.1 million are of junior secondary school age. At this peak of its malnourishment, the educational system is being confronted by yet another monster: exam malpractices. This may be considered the death knell. It entered subtly many years back but has become like a full-grown cancer tumor, permeating every fabric of the system. We closed our eyes to it or just tried to dismantle the syndicate with kid gloves. Today, it is formidable, widespread, and brazenly practiced. Our educational system has become an industry where evil is the norm. The evil syndicate look eagerly forward to every examination season for its money-making potentials. Leaked examination questions and answers are freely sold at high prices. Appointed invigilators look the other way while answers to examination questions are fully displayed or dictated at examination centers to those who have paid what they refer to as logistics money. What about sex for marks in universities? No level of education is spared. The situation can't be Messier. Many students and their parents have bought into this rot as they consider it a stress-free shortcut to earning the desired paper qualification, a certificate not backed with knowledge. The culture of strenuous academic pursuit is long dead and buried. Special examination centers have taken over. Even some school administrators have yielded to this filthy lucre and assumed the role of retailers in this evil trade. Nigeria is, indeed, in dire straits. In the over 70 years of my life, I have seen the glories of Nigeria's educational system. Seeing the present rot makes my heart sick. Who will save Nigeria? Education shapes the future of a country. It builds knowledge, skills, and values, helping people to grow and succeed. The Human Capital Index, HCI, a UNDP measure for ranking countries based on the probability of a child attaining full productive potential in his or her lifetime, relies heavily on a country's quality of education and health. At about 0.36 or 36%, Nigeria currently ranks 169 out of 174 countries globally. If our educational system continues on the present free fall trajectory, then Nigeria is headed for a catastrophic landing on ground zero. One of the obvious fallouts of the present malaise is that those who can afford it, the political and business elites, now send their children to well-funded and properly managed centers of excellence abroad to escape the rot. They leave the mass of children of the poor parents to wallow in this mire. The foreign trained will return, in time, no strikes, no delays, then take over the commanding heights of the nation. There is no gainsaying the fact that, already, in job interviews anywhere in Nigeria and elsewhere, products of foreign education are the preferred. The implication is, as the poor fathers serve the rich parents today, so will the children of the poor continue in servitude to children of the rich in the near future. Instead of building an egalitarian society, a land of equal opportunities, which is one of her avowed educational policy objectives, Nigeria is, perhaps inadvertently, building an elitist, hierarchical, caste-like society. We are gleefully brewing a conflict that would eventually destroy us. Cry, the beloved country. Is anyone in charge here? Who will save Nigeria from this insanity of self-stabbing? Where is the National Orientation Agency? Is there still a National Council on Education? Are the Minister and Commissioners of Education aware of this malaise? Where are the pastors and imams in a nation arguably the most religious on earth? Are there still elders of thought? Where are those in charge of the examination bodies, WAEC, NICO, JAM? Can they ever be thorough? Can our examinations ever be devoid of leakages and marking errors? Where are the watchdogs? Where is the DSS, the ICPC, the EFCC? Some people must be held accountable. Let the schools return to the good old days of no pass, no promotion. The 7 years moratorium recently placed by Nigeria's federal government on licensing of new tertiary institutions should be extended sine die. Governments at all levels should plow back into early childhood education, develop appropriate curriculum, and adequately train and motivate teachers for this and other levels of education. Let leaders arise, sane enough, or should we say, mad enough, to turn the table, save our education and, indeed, our country. I speak as an elder. Let me receive your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, edufee.com, so as to continue to receive more insightful videos.